here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on the 12 o'clock position on Metropolis. We have our blue Terran player, the last member of Prime. It is ByuN. And his opponent over at the 9 o'clock position from Team SCV Life, knocked out Creator in the last game. He's our red Terran player, Polt.
So this random thought just entered my brain, and now I have to talk about it. The 12 o'clock position on a clock face.
Right.
It's always at the top.
Correct.
But was it always that way? Like, how did the entire world end up with clocks that looked the same and nothing else?
Because that's when the day starts. So it's just
at the top?
At the top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The day starts at the top. It doesn't start on the left side or the right side or the bottom?
Like, that would just be stupid if the day started like 50 degrees into the circle.
I'm going to look up
like
ancient cuneiform clocks, and they're going to be in really weird places. Yeah, I guess sundials are a thing.
Our TD is telling us it's sundials.
But,
so.
like, you know, languages evolve separately.
I am, so.
and calendars evolve separately, and why clock face just seems it's universal. It doesn't even make sense to me.
To annoy you. That's
no,
why
it doesn't even annoy me.
So.
I'm just curious. I want to look. I want to study some history right now instead of StarCraft.
Yeah, I did 4 years of that. Let me tell you. A bit overrated.
So you should know the clock thing.
Oh, shut up. All right. It's not a military thing. I only know the military history. Anyway, ByuN decides to go for gas first. Polt decides to go for gas first. Both players going gas first. The gas came up a little bit quicker for ByuN, but Barracks coming up a bit faster for Polt, but otherwise things looking very, very consistent here in this TVT.
Did General Patton go Barracks first?
No,
because
it didn't involve continually attacking.
Right.
And so that's the problem.
Didn't he have tanks? Was he in tank division?
Yeah, he was a tank guy. But
so he had factories, early factories.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of them.
Did he float the factories over?
No, but I think he used medevacs or something like that right about Battle of the Bulge to get his units in position much faster than the Germans could.
I see, okay.
Medevac drop of tanks, I think it was.
Mm-hmm. But it was a TVT, so they had the same capabilities. They were just a little bit behind in their tech.
They did, and their siege tanks were a little bit better, but their Marines didn't have the grit of the U.S. soldiers.
Of course,
so.
and that is an upgrade at the Armory,
That's
or
right.
at least it was during that era. I think that was a few patches ago.
It was, yeah.
They didn't have stim packs yet.
It was replaced by combat shields, but that's not as cool as grit.
That's right. Grit is a little bit more variable than the combat shield, so they had to get rid of it.
Well, Polt putting down his second gas now. ByuN has not done the same thing, but he does already have a tech lab popping up here, so we'll see what he ends up moving into. I'm not really sure what's going to hit for Polt. Probably Cloaked Banshees, but he could throw us for a loop. It is Polt. He does crazy things.
He does not have a reactor that I've seen yet, so probably just going to go straight to Starport. Yeah, there it is. Actually, no time wasted on that. He does have enough gas to throw up a tech lab, so he could do some switcheroo on the add-on, but he's not building any add-ons either, so I really don't know what to expect. Maybe he'll squeeze out a couple of Marines, a couple of Hellions, and throw that medevac across the short flying distance, but actually he's not even really building any units. There is a tech lab finally for Polt, and ByuN is building his starport directly onto that tech lab.
And ByuN put up a second gas as well. Basically, as soon as I clicked off of it, saw that he didn't have a second gas. So he himself is going to have plenty of gas saved up. And we'll see if he decides to just go straight into one Banshee or if he's going to save and put up Cloak. There's 200 gas and there's Cloak.
Cloak first. All right. So I do notice that both of these Terran players are using the skull symbol for their Terran buildings.
That's correct.
They are, in fact, the same, I guess, faction, of Terran fighters.
I suppose so.
So we got some civil war happening on Metropolis here between the blue skull guys and the red skull guys.
That's unfortunate.
And Red Skull is a bad guy in Captain America, so Polt really likes comic books.
And they are red and blue, so...
Yep. Red, white, and blue. The text on the scoreboard is white.
I'll go with that.
Man, this is all working out. This is crazy. Captain America has heavy influences on StarCraft 2.
So A equals B and B equals Stefano, I think, is what we've come to the conclusion of.
USA.
So, yes.
Okay. But isn't it weird that someone from the USA won the Europe national, like international?
Thought?
That's insane.
It's crazy.
You think they would not let that happen?
Man, U.S. taking over everything.
All right. Well, we do have Cloak nearly finished, actually, for both players. Banshee is already in the sky for Polt. He's going to get over there before Cloak is finished and perhaps be able to do some damage. I don't think either player has an engineering bay finished yet. ByuN is working on his now, but I don't think Polt actually has invested in it yet, so that could be dangerous.
Yes, it could. And looks like ByuN is actually switching over and putting up a going ahead and putting up a Viking right afterwards. Just a second Banshee popping out for Polt, so he is going to have almost no anti-air available. Just the few Marines that he has on the ground. That's it.
Polt is actually hammering away, though, at this mineral line. Actually got a couple of Marine kills already as well. If he can get rid of all these Marines, he's going to have a heyday on these SCVs. He can just keep picking away at the ones building the turret, if he can find it, obviously, as all the SCVs are surrounding it. ByuN has now made his way into Polt space. He's got enough for a scan and a lot of Marines. He might actually be able to take it out. Only 26 health remaining,
no.
So he is going to actually have to force another scan. That's going to be really dangerous as this Banshee comes right back in. Polt might even have to pull workers. It looks like the Banshee was dealt with over here with the combination of a turret and scan, perhaps, and that Viking. But now second Banshee for Polt coming in. Going to have a little bit of a soft spot here at the bottom. He needs to actually finish the SCVs that he starts, but ByuN actually needs to back out with only 6 kills. Doesn't want to risk losing that 20 health Banshee.
So Polt's got a pretty good spot here, but he's got to watch out. The Viking can now fire on him. Let's see. There's plenty enough for a scan, and ByuN is just queuing up SCVs like mad. Unfortunately, the cloak did run out on this Banshee. He tried to pick up another kill, but wasn't successful. ByuN was able to get out with his Banshee alive, though, so we will be able to send that back in to try and do some damage. But Polt does already have a Viking in position. 14 workers killed to just 4, and Polt is up by 5. So maybe when I said that Polt was going to lose this game, I was silly.
Check out that resources lost tab again. We've had some interesting early game trades throughout this entire series, but look at that 20 units lost for not that much more resources lost. Interesting.
It was SCVs versus 2 Banshees.
That's
ByuN
right.
didn't lose his Banshee, but both the Banshees did go down.
Oh, Polt's on the move already, but check this out. ByuN is in a sweet spot here. There is a Raven being built for ByuN as well, so he doesn't have to worry about Cloak Banshees really ever again. But ByuN is actually going to be able to sneak in here, maybe find the soft spot of his own to start picking away at. But Polt's on the move with his forces. I'm not sure what ByuN's got at the front line. Just a couple of Marines, it looks like, at the moment.
Yeah, really nothing. I mean, he does have
6
that
Marines.
Raven up now. And, oh, the Viking for Polt gets picked off right away. It looks like he was dealing with this back at home rather than anything else. And unfortunately, that's going to cost him up in front. He loses that very precious air cover.
This is really interesting as this energy will eventually run out from the Banshee, but the DPS on it is so high. There's a scan, and actually the energy not really mattering that much as he does just barely pull back a little bit. Polt actually thinned out quite a bit, and this Banshee doing 7 kills total while Polt is away from home and escaping with only 4 HP. Poor Polt can't catch a break here, and ByuN actually pulls ahead in supply for the first time.
This is a big turn of events. I mean, Polt was doing really well a second ago, but losing that air cover, losing everything up at the front has, critically damaged his efforts now. The advantage that he is carrying still is that he's up 2 bases to his opponent's just 1.
Kind of 2 bases.
Well, it's just about done.
It's working. It's getting there. But if ByuN does have some sort of response before that can get saturated, it won't matter so much. But now with the Raven again, he's not going to have to worry about detection anymore. He can just send those Vikings after the Banshee and get it killed off. But this Banshee over here, trying to pick off a depot that hasn't even completed yet instead of these juicy SCVs. There they are, actually finally getting right back into range, allowing Polt to score a couple more kills. But again, that Raven is just going to shut down all those Banshees. I think that's 4 or 5 Banshees lost for Polt already,
like that, yeah.
And a Viking.
Look at that resources loss we were talking about before. Now Polt is actually behind in that regard. He is sitting on 2 bases, though. He does have more workers than his opponent, so his economy is going to be a lot more well-developed. It's just a question of what ByuN can do in the meantime. He does have not the world's largest army, and he is just sitting on 1 base for now.
This is weird. Yeah, it's like a little small back and forth attacks from both sides. Obviously the Banshee's getting us kicked off here, but now ByuN and Polt both walking their armies across. Well, Polt first, then ByuN. But now these tanks actually are sitting here. They don't have siege tech already finished, so ByuN actually could be in a great position. 3 Vikings to 3, but one of those is critically injured for Polt already. That's, oh, the full health one's going to go down. The Raven is going to be able to do spotting and detection and potentially drop another point defense drone or auto turret. And ByuN, his push is actually looking a little bit stronger than it first seemed.
And no kidding, picks off that picks off the tech lab that was researching siege mode. Is actually nearly done with siege mode as well, and that would have been a huge advantage. But now Polt has to walk up in the middle of these siege tanks, which are completely done. The point defense drone, I'm sorry, the auto turret that was dropped down was killed almost immediately, but it bought a lot of time for ByuN to be able to move in and pick off yet more siege tanks. So just 2 tanks remaining, and those are going to fall here in just a second to these Banshees. Polt down to just 30 supply.
Yeah, the Air Force here for ByuN is proving to be the difference. One of these Banshees is going to run out of energy in just a moment. moment. It's Viking versus Viking. Who is actually going to come out on top? It looks like Polt will, so the Banshees will need to scoot out of there. But another Viking shows up and a little bit more ground force. We have more Marines and another tank, at least one more tank, yeah, coming along through the ramp here. And Polt is basically out of options. He can't really produce anything anymore other than those 2 Marines from that barracks.
Now my prediction looks better, but Polt's unfortunately taking so much damage here. This Viking is going to fall. There's GG. We are tied up. We're going to Game 9. It's been 4 straight sets in the IPTL Premier Division where we're going to Game 9. That's awesome. Well,